Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are about to listen to the most entertaining and informative wrestling podcast out there. That is not a prediction, it is a spoiler, and this is Kayfabe Critics.
Welcome to the next edition of Kayfabe Critics. You've heard this voice before, but you haven't heard this voice leading this conversation. I'm your guy, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, with my guy, the man, the myth, the legend, just celebrating his first year anniversary, and it is too fucking sweet. My man, Marcangelo. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. I think that the listeners out there are going to be a little thrown by hearing your vanilla voice as opposed to mine, but we'll get it over.
What's wild? There's some people that really believe that. So, you know what I'm saying? So until they see the YouTube clip, it's like, oh, like that's not really the case. No, it's not. But nevertheless, here we are. So yeah, I mean, listen, there's been big news, huge news, gigantic, grapefruits news. I just had to put it out there. So if you had been living under a rock, which I don't know why you would, unless you're SpongeBob SquarePants or Patrick Star to say, excuse me, I'm getting my cartoons wrong already. Vince McMahon, the guy who has been the fearless leader of the WWE, the leader of sports entertainment, has finally chose to step down as CEO, was really just everything of WWE over the last 40, 50 years. So just, what were your thoughts as that news broke on Friday?
Yeah, I think so. When he didn't really choose to, right? I think this is more of a he had to, and we get into the reason, the reason as to why he did it and why he had to. But I think pro wrestling fans around the world never thought this day would come. And now that it's here, they don't really know what to do, right? It's because it's always easy to talk about, oh, things are going to be so much better once Vince is gone. And, that might be the case. But when you think about, and again, we could talk about the reasons as to why he had to step down. But when you talk about the influence this man had, both as an owner of this company and then as a character in the majority of our childhood, that's a pretty big piece. I mean, he is not solely responsible, but WWE, WWF, before the Pandas sued them, they were responsible for so many memories and like really great memories of my childhood and just things that you do with whether it's your dad, your brothers, your friends. You know what I mean? So it feels weird. I mean, it also does feel fitting that the year that Taker goes into the Hall of Fame, that Vince hangs it up. Like it's really the end of that. It's over. I have a lot of feelings about I want to talk a little bit about like how I feel about him and how I feel about his contributions. But initially, my gut reaction was like, holy shit, it happened. Now what?
Yeah, I mean, no, perfectly said. I honestly thought it was a work. So, because Craig had texted us on Friday and was like, showed the post that, then, now, forever. And I wrote back, please. Like, I'm not. I thought it was a Mark Henry 2.0 type thing. Mind you, because I was there Friday night. I was there for SmackDown. I thought, obviously, he wasn't going to come out in a pink suit like Mark Henry did. But I was expecting no chance to drop at the beginning and say, you thought it was over? Like, I got a lot left in the tape type thing. I was expecting that, like, where the hell you've been type thing. Like that. I was expecting that type of mic drop moment because that's what you've been doing the last few weeks, all leading up to this moment. So I mean, listen, I mean, yeah, he's responsible for a lot of different moments. I know we've lamented a point on and off the air about how, we felt things would be different once he left. And yeah, it is jarring, right? Because someone that was a big part of our childhood, that gave us memories. Yes, I'm forever thankful that he brought the Royal Rumble here to Boston 2003 when I saw Brock Lesnar win. Forever grateful to be at WrestleMania 33, 34, 35, and then 38 this year. Like, I'm like, yeah, listen, the greatest spectacle on earth, right? Outside the Super Bowl. So I'm forever grateful to what he was able to give to the business. Obviously, you would want him to leave under different circumstances, but obviously it's self-inflicted, obviously.
Right.
It's not something where this was something that that he's being accused of. It's like, yo, like, no, you did this shit, bro. Like, you did it to yourself.
It's a perfect way. I mean, honestly, like this is how I would imagine like the character Mr. McMahon to be written off, right? It's a limo explosion didn't get him, none of that got him, but it was it was this. But not to make light of the situation. Yeah, he the reports came out that there was over $14 million of money being paid out to various women over the course of the last 15 years, for all the sexual improprieties that had occurred. I'm sure that there are more. I mean, this was the wild, wild west before it was a publicly traded organization.
Right.
And I do not want to make light of it. I think this will be a stain on his legacy. There are a few.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Should be.
There are a few. I think this is. It's tough, and I think what this forces you to do, especially as a professional wrestling fan, is really think about how you feel about him. Right? It's how do you weigh the contributions of what he did and what he created, and then how do you weigh that against the things that have come out over the years about him as a person, whether it's that incident in the 80s with the female referee, or it's covering up for all the things with Pat Patterson, Jimmy Snuka, the fact that he had Owen Hart do that stunt that ultimately resulted in him, dying. He didn't need to do that, and then trying to go after Brett to make sure that the Hart family didn't go after him. There's a ton. The list goes on. He is a very, very complicated individual, but I really have a hard time with it, saying like to myself as someone who has consumed, I would say just as much as you, but so much content that he's put out since I can remember. Like one of my earliest memories of watching television was WWE.
Right.
So how do you reconcile that? And I think that's what we don't have to go into that deep dichotomy of a discussion. But it is one of those moments when you start thinking about, okay, the character and what he did for you versus, never want to meet your heroes because they're never going to live up to it.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's another fitting statement. I don't know if he'll reach like Chris Benoit territory, because
no.
What? No, but but people are extremists, man. That's why I say that. So I don't think he'll reach that. There will be some that cast him off completely, like they did with Chris Benoit. And once again, totally understandable. Like I'm not knocking your experience, so I totally get that. Although I am someone that's in the club that I believe that Chris Benoit is a Hall of Famer. That's just, once again, the character, the wrestler is a Hall of Famer. What he did out of the ring, once again, atrocious, abominable, any word you want to use. The wrestler, the character, what we saw in WCW, what we saw in WWE. Once again, WrestleMania 20 was one of my favorite moments of all time. I know that was against the guy. I know, but that seeing him win the world title that night was phenomenal. WrestleMania 20, like I'll never forget that night, never. So I probably cried along with him. And I'm not gonna lie, like so I remember him from the Thursday Night Thunder days and all that good stuff. But to bring it back to Vince, and I think the biggest thing you probably forgot to bring up really was the steroid thing, right? I mean that the steroid thing gets brought up in the early 90s.
Yeah,
I know that was obviously a big thing with him and Hulk Hogan and Lex Luger and the rest of that crew that was on trial for that. So yeah, I think that he has many stains, yes, but I would like to say the good outweighs the bad. Once again, there's other stuff that we still don't know and we'll never know, but just from the outside looking in, I feel like the good outweighs the bad. Once again, it's a hell of a way to go out, unfortunately, because of what the stuff that's coming out. There's years that's been piled up, which is why maybe some people had left and people were in agreement for what he was doing behind the scenes. But listen, from a character standpoint, from a business standpoint, like I said, the man gave everything. So, let's stay right there though. So just what are some of your fondest moments of him? Because I have a few that come to mind, but what do you go ahead.
Before we get to the fondest moments of the character, like if you just really think about the fact that in 1982, like we just passed the 40-year mark where he purchased the then WWF from his father for, I think what it turned out to be $1 million, right? This was a territory business, regional business. And over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, he gobbled up all the territories and he gave us WrestleMania. Yes, WrestleMania was just another version of Starrcade, but it was just done a little bit differently. I think if you just look at this, people have always said that he hated pro wrestling. I don't think that. I think he thought pro wrestling deserved to be on the grandest stage, and he realized that it would never be that on that stage if it was called pro wrestling. So he created sports entertainment, right? And a WWE superstar, not a wrestler, but a WWE superstar. And then he bet everything on the success of WrestleMania. And that was back in the day where it wasn't, it wasn't pay-per-view then, but he was the reason that one of the reasons that pay-per-view became such a thing. I mean, and then, between that and the mainstream, MTV, I mean, he brought that into the forefront with wrestling, the partnership with NBC and Saturday Night's Main Event, Monday Night Raw. I mean, the fact that we have a live wrestling show on every night that's been on every single night, since January of 1993, that's because of him and because of what he thought the business should be. So yes, he made mistakes, the XFL, the first time. The second time wasn't his fault. But the WBO, the World Bodybuilding Organization, and Lex Luger and all that crap. But
I forgot about that one. Wow.
I mean, my favorite on-screen moments with him, I thought they have to be all mostly Attitude Era, right? When he allowed Brett to cut that scathing promo on him in '97 and rip his shirt, spit on him, all of that, and that really ushered in the fact that maybe we don't know like exactly what is happening anymore. Maybe this isn't good guy, bad guy. I think the funniest moment in the history of wrestling television is the hospital scene with him and Stone Cold, where
oh god,
yeah, it's the bedpan to the head when he's beating the cast and he's just screaming. It's just so ridiculous that it's good. And on screen, on screen again, I'm going to speak mostly in the terms of his on-screen persona. He would never ask a talent to do something that he would not do himself.
Right.
And he was the butt of every joke for as long as there was. I loved the reveal of him as a higher power in Boston back in '99. I thought that was so good, coming off the heels of Stephanie being abducted by Taker, him and Austin kind of aligning. You thought this was a turning point, and then it was me, Austin. It was me all along. Like he's just what he. It's easy to say a promoter puts himself in and gets himself over. He was the best heel. I mean,
for sure.
Period. There's no one that could get more heat than him ever. And he didn't really have to try. And I thought, he knew that he wasn't a great worker. So he just let people do whatever they wanted to him. I mean, you hear the story about WrestleMania 22 when Shawn jumps off a 20-foot ladder and everyone's like, oh, Shawn, that's pretty badass. And he would say, well, I think it's actually more badass to be the guy in a trash can on a table, not knowing when the bump's coming, just kind of sitting there whistling. Like Vince, when Vince was in there, he was in there. I just thought he's the greatest showman that we'll ever see. And he, at any point in time, could get that audience to love him. and then hate him in the next sentence.
Yeah. I mean, as well, speaking of matches, it's funny. Like, it's funny that it's all happened on the same week, because this last week I had been watching old WrestleMania stuff of Royal Rumbles, so on and so forth. And, his match against Hogan at WrestleMania 19.
Bloodbath.
I forgot that he did a spot off the ladder. He did a lead drop off the ladder. I said, Are you kidding me? I said, he was 58 at the time. I said, are you kidding me, Vince? Like, and that's what I'm saying. That, like you said, it goes back to what you said. He's not doing anything that he's not. He would do something. He wants you to do the same thing. Like, he's not going to put on more than he can bear or wants you to bear. So I'm like, wow. I remember, like, I cannot believe that he did that type of spot. And then obviously, I remember, you always remember the Shawn Michaels match. Obviously, him against Shane at WrestleMania 17.
Yep.
In the first coast to coast, like that was insane. And once again, he just always knew how to tell the right story.
I also think, like, an understated moment, maybe even a forgotten one for those non-diehards, was his Raw in 2012 against Punk, when he and Punk main evented in a street fight. And you had then 2012. So in 2003, if he was 58, and in 2012 he's 62. Mm-hmm. He runs and jumps clean across the announce table to tackle Punk, and he gets his ass absolutely handed to him. But it was that character just always had legs, always. And I mean, even WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. I mean,
yeah, I was there. Crazy,
right? When you were there, when you think about, there's no reason for fans to want a 77-year-old man to step in the ring, but after the McAfee match, you were there. They were begging for it.
So it's wild, right? Because in the crowd, obviously, we seen him come out or whatever. So obviously, he's in a suit, so you're not thinking anything. Then obviously the McAfee match ends or whatever. And then it was like a nervous energy, but like excitement at the same time. Because you hear somebody behind me like, he's going to do it. He's going to fucking do it. Like, he's really good. He's really And the fight, and all you hear is Vince. And then, he does the thing. I was like, what is going on? I mean, part of me, I would have loved to see the match between him and Austin. I know it was great to see him and KO, but I was like, that really would have been fitting. But it's also, too, you said about Taker, it's also fitting that Stone Cold's really final match and Taker, like that. And just, they were the three, obviously, this Rock, Hunter, which, we'll get to Hunter in a minute, but it's just like, those were the three that really, were staples. I mean, hardcore staples of the World Wrestling Federation, and then, World Wrestling Entertainment. So, but yeah, I am surprised that I remember the matches as much as I do, because I'm just like, wow, he really, like, he just really knew how to get the heat. But the thing is, the reason why the character had legs forever was because everyone has a boss that they can't fucking stand. Yep. So you want to see the boss get beat up every single time because you can't stand the boss. So that's why it worked. But that character, yeah, it's saved. November 9th, 1997 saved the WWE. It saved it. It saved it. At Montreal SummerSlam, it saved. I remember, ring the bell. That saved, because I said, listen, people can say, go back and watch, but WCW was on fire. And if you say otherwise, I want to tell you, kid, if you wasn't watching Monday Night Show, you're lying. If you wasn't watching Thursday Night Thunder, you're lying. Like, listen, Diamond Dallas Page was my guy. Dang, like that was my guy. So, like, no, you was watching that shit on a regular basis, and you would flip it back and forth to see who was going to do what. But yeah, I'm forever thankful that he did that Montreal screw job. I know people were pissed off about that, Dave. I'm sorry when you listen back to this, but it saved wrestling, and I'm forever grateful because we got the best ever wrestling out of it. So I'm forever grateful for the character.
Yeah, I mean, that was really what everyone thought was going to be the death blow to WWE at the time. Is that Brett? That is the WWE guy. I mean, aside from Taker, right, and Shawn, but Brett was WWF at the time, right. and he turned that into a work. I mean, the next day on Raw, Brett screwed Brett with and then that launched the McMahon character that Austin, Rock, Foley, Taker, Hunter, Shawn. I mean, literally everybody had was shined by him. Now, again, I don't want to be insensitive. I hate that I have to keep saying this because yes, the things that he is accused of and that he did sucks. It really sucks. Now, if this was 1993, he would not have stepped down. Doesn't make it more wrong now or more right then. This is just a sign of the times, right? Don't do what he did. But I mean, but the character. When you think about how crazy of a son of a bitch this guy was, I mean that WWE 24 documentary about the Performance Center WrestleMania. When Gronk was too scared to jump 15 feet onto a padded surface, you got a 75-year-old Vince who goes, "I'll do it. I'll show you how it's done." The guy just, it will be interesting to see what this company looks like. When it's no longer run by a guy that founded it and then lived and breathed it. I mean, we have heard reports, heard stories. This guy is in his office until midnight, then goes to the gym, then is back in his office at 5 a.m. Like this was his life. So things will change. I think environmentally for the better, behind the scenes. But I think there's going to be a noticeable change.
Sure, but I think the noticeable change is for the better. Hey, once again, you've done this plenty of times, so let's get right into that, right? So yes, so now it's out there. Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, aka King of Kings, is now taking over creative control. Stephanie and Nick Khan will be, co-CEOs, I believe. So just, what do you see them doing, in this era now that they're taking over? Personally, I'm excited. Like I said, I'll get into my thoughts in a moment, but just what are your thoughts about, them three being in power, and, how do you see things unfolding in the months to come?
Yeah, I think what you said earlier is definitely true. I don't think that there's going to be any dramatic change between now and probably Survivor Series or the Rumble, right? Mm-hmm. I think that they want to make sure that investors don't lose faith. I know that their stock went up about like 8% today after the news of Triple H being in charge of creative. I also think that there's this narrative out there that Nick Khan is this guy that doesn't care about wrestling, has nothing to do with wrestling. I mean, he's childhood friends with The Rock. So this guy has been in and around the business for the entirety of his entire, his entire life. I think what you're going to see, and it's all very interesting that now we're hearing, like we heard the rumors last week that they're going to go back to TV 14. I don't think they were going to see Attitude Era like gratuitous violence or scandalous, women.
Right.
But I do think if we see NXT 2012 through 2016, then we're going to be in for it. And if Triple H can book, and we know he can, and if he's able to appoint the people that he wants to appoint, which is interesting to think. If you would have ever said to me, in 2004, hey, Mike, in 2022, Stephanie's going to be co-CEO, Triple H is going to be in charge of creative, and they're going to be lobbying for Paul Heyman to have a really big driving force behind writing, I would have said that you're crazy, right? But if that happens, if Triple H is in charge of creative, if Paul Heyman's in charge of one of the shows, I mean, those are some of the most creative minds in this business. I mean,
give him SmackDown.
Sure.
Give Paul Heyman SmackDown. SmackDown, when Paul Heyman was running SmackDown in the 2000s during the Ruthless Aggression era, SmackDown was the A show.
Yeah.
Once again, they were doing great then. So.
Raw needs it more now. Raw's 3. It's hard to watch a full episode of Raw live. 3 hours is tough. I think Heyman had a good idea in the PC era, trying to push younger talent, but with the lack of a crowd, no one knows if it got over. They gave it back to Bruce. Whatever. I think WWE is in a very, very interesting position. I just hope that it's not in a position to sell anytime soon, because if Stephanie is co-CEO, excuse me, and Triple H is in charge of creative, and we get Paul Heyman there and he has creative control, we could be on the precipice of another wrestling renaissance. Now, it's not going to be Attitude Era like, but if the stories make sense, if these storylines make sense, and if we know the matches will, because Triple H is not going to let the matches get thrown together that don't make sense. But if we could have cohesive storylines for the first time in, I don't know,
years,
10 years, where it's not just your main attraction storyline and everything else is the same match week in and week out, or it's a tag match, then I think, you could see we'll find out how many diehard wrestling fans are still left and how many are itching to come back.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I said this earlier. I wonder who left is going to come back. And I've been itching to say this because he said it on a pipe bomb years ago. CM Punk called us. I mean, obviously without Vince McMahon dying, obviously he didn't pass away, but CM Punk called on this. He was like, it's going to be ran by, his stupid son-in-law and his
idiot daughter and his doofus son-in-law.
Yeah. So this is what happened. So I'm pretty sure he got a good laugh out of that when he saw that. I mean, listen, I know he's in AEW. There should be another run for CM Punk in WWE. It should be. I know, he's done this thing in AEW. The fans went crazy. Clearly, he's in the space to wrestle. He's in the mic. I do think if once again, if it's right for business.
Yeah, but that was a Vince thing. I mean, remember, Triple H is the one that faxed him his notice on his wedding day. That wasn't Vince. I think that ship is sailed.
Thanks. Well, if it's best for business, as they would say, once again, they would say it on air. I'm the authority, but you make that happen. But I'm thinking about the Keith Lee's, the Adam Coles, plenty of people that's left in that time frame. The only person I think that's probably not going to come back from a decade ago is probably Alberto Del Rio. He just need to fucking come back, right?
Yeah, I'm good with him though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm almost set. So
there's one more.
So
there's one more shoe left to drop though.
Who?
Kevin Dunn needs to go. If you get that beaver looking bastard out of that company, then I think all the people that you're saying that you're talking about right now that they come back.
Well, and you got to keep Bruce. Got to keep Bruce though. Got to keep Brother Love.
Of course, yeah.
Got to keep Brother Love.
Brother Love.
Got to keep him. But it's a new day. No pun intended. It's a new day.
Can you believe it though? Sitting here on Monday, July 25th, 2022. You were in the arena the day that it happened. Of course you were, because you're always there.
Mm-hmm.
But has it sunk in that Vince is no longer a part of WWE?
No, it hasn't. And once again, to me, I'm like, I can't see him fully pulling back. Like, yeah, he stepped away from the title. Not telling me the man's still not making decisions behind the scenes. Not bringing people to the house and saying, hey, how are you? I'm Vince McMahon. That's happening still. That's happening. Once again, he's still, people still want to meet him, regardless of what's going on. People still want to meet him. And like I said, if he, I just think to me, there's no way he relinquished everything. And once again, he may have been forced to, obviously, which once again is completely and totally understandable.
Yep.
I'm not here to refute that. I just don't think, once again, it's back to the Mark Henry thing. I got a lot left in the tank.
Right. I'm sure he could have kept, I mean, his mother literally just passed away and she was 103. So
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
does he have stuff left in the tank?
Easily
Sure.
get to 90. Easily.
But now I think he's at a point where the product is what it is. It's secure. The TV rights deal, they're good for another couple of years. Him being there is probably more detrimental to the cause than him not being there. Now, like you, I fully expected when I saw Vince McMahon tweet that it's been a good run, now forever together. I thought Mr. McMahon was going to come out as the character. No. Just because Vince is gone doesn't mean I'm gone. But I think this is a clean start. What I will ask you before you ask me the next question, what do you think his greatest achievement is?
It might have been the Austin character.
I wasn't even his, but he didn't want that. His was the ringmaster.
Right, Frost and Freeze, or whatever that show was. But the Austin character. I mean, it's easy to say WrestleMania. But I mean, but I think that, or even maybe honestly, maybe I'll say the Taker character. Maybe the Taker character is the best ever. That was his most impressive or most important move. Yeah, I actually did take the Taker character. Not so Austin maybe, but yeah, Taker. The longevity, he got him through a dark phase in WWE, when they was to Doink the fucking Clown and, Isaac Jacob, DDS. Oh, God. Barry Windham, Jesus, oh my God, that was tough. That was tough. That was a tough era, very tough. But yeah, I would have to say Taker is probably the greatest creation. Or what people don't know, originally it was called Kane, the Undertaker.
Yep,
they dropped it after his debut. So that's I gotta go with Taker though.
So creatively, like in the wrestling business, I think that Taker is his greatest creation. I think, but I think that he was lucky that it was Mark Calloway, because anybody else that gets a 3 or 4 year run and then it's over. Business wise, I think it's the network. I mean, he built pay-per-view and he saw the end of pay-per-view, and that all non-WrestleMania pay-per-views were getting like 100,000 buys and they were charging $40 a pay-per-view. So he said, you know what? F that. I'll just create a network and I'll charge $10. And yeah, in the when it first came out, that only like 600,000 people bought it. Sure, trust me, I was part of.
Same here.
I was a stockholder. I was very happy with my $25 stocks, and when it fell to $7. Trust me, I get it. But he never wavered. And then 4 years after, or 5 years later, they have 1.8 million subscribers, and Peacock offers them billions of dollars. So I thought it's easy to say WrestleMania, and yes, that is true. I think that all of that is true. But the fact that he realized the writing was on the wall for pay-per-views and said, you know what, I'm just going to start my own network, because he had done it with the WWE 24. That was like a $5 add-on for cable for a while. But to produce his own content, unlock the entire library, and then get it to a place where, you have 1.8 or 1.5 million subscribers at $10 a month. So you're raking it in no matter what. And then Peacock buys you for billions of dollars. That is genius. Business wise, not all the time, but he was a genius, is a genius. And the wrestling industry is better off because of him.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, hey, listen, for those that listen to this and will comment that WrestleMania is, once again, can't dispute that, because WrestleMania became, once again, the greatest spectacle in all of sports entertainment. Who would have thought with, Paul Orndorff, aka Mr. Wonderful, and Mr. T and Roddy Piper and, Hulk Hogan, when they had that tag team match at WrestleMania 1, who would have thought at that time that it would have became, 38 years later, the biggest event to come to once. Yeah, the fact that I've been to 5 in person, it's amazing. Like, I feel like a kid every time I walk in there, right? It's just it's unbelievable. Even on Friday night, once again, I've been to a few SmackDowns, I've been to Raw, but it's like you just get that feeling. And it was great talking to young fans about the new current superstars. Like, we talked about Montez Ford and Matt Riddle, and just Riddle now, so bro, so we talk about a lot of guys. Like I said, we'll get into that in a second, but yeah, it's just you get that kid-like feeling, anytime you walk into a WWE event. And once again, it's about the memories. Once again, my first WrestleMania watch, even though I wasn't there, I said it was Boston, WrestleMania 14, Tyson's a special enforcer. 1, 2, 3. Stone Cold. The Austin era begins. Like, I'll never forget that call. Never.
The HBK fan of me wants to remind you of 2 things. Number 1, there was a way faster count than that.
Yes.
And number 2,
I know.
I actually got my dad and I were going to go, but this is back in the early advent of the internet, and he had read a spoiler that Shawn was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And as the biggest Shawn Michaels fan in the world, I just couldn't be in the arena when he lost, and then when he retired. I did get the next day after WrestleMania out of school because for bereavement for Shawn. But I mean, my earliest WrestleMania memory was Savage versus Flair, WrestleMania 8 at the Hoosier Dome, 92, and I just remember it like this is just so freaking cool. Coliseum home video, Sean Mooney, Todd Pettingale, you had Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon, and so yes, for those of you again that aren't watching me and they aren't watching us and that are listening, I am not excusing the behavior of the man. What I am saying is that he did wrong things, I can't ignore the good that he did for a business and for me, like personally, and
right.
And not for nothing. If it wasn't for Vince McMahon, my wife and I would not have this house. Fact.
Yeah. So, but put it like this too. What do you say to people to say both of y'all are wrong? It's Hulk Hogan.
It's Hulk Hogan. What? Hulk Hogan got them the network?
No, that Hulk Hogan is the greatest creation of WWE.
I think that he was the perfect manifestation in the 80s. Like he was the right guy at the right time, and did all the right things. But Cena's better than Hogan in every facet. It's just Hogan was the first. So it pays to be the first. I think Austin, it wasn't his creation, but I think that the next comp is Cena. And if you think about all the quality of matches, Cena's way more of a Hollywood star than Hogan ever could be, although he always wanted to be. I think he's crossed over more in the mainstream. Mm-hmm. I think he was better on the stick, better in the ring. But yeah, listen, Titan Tower was built on the back of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, for sure. But Hogan also, not for nothing, is the reason that there's no wrestlers union. Had he not marked out and stooged out to Vince about the boys talking about a union, then there would have been one, because Jesse Ventura wanted there to be one. Right. Hogan stooged out because he didn't want to lose his top spot. It's this business, the fact that it's still around in today's day and age. Now it's a little bit different, remarkably different, but it is the wild, wild west. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, you can't discount the fact that from what he took over, when he bought it for $1 million, it's now currently worth $5.6 billion in 40 years. That's with a B. And that's after 2 failed XFLs. The man did something right business-wise. Personally, he seems to be a bit of a wreck.
But I'm like this, there's so many in this business that people revere that had wild moments outside of the ring. So let's talk about him. Hulk Hogan, our guy. We both love Shawn Michaels. I know you love him more than I do, but I'm like, Shawn Michaels had a shit outside the ring. I'm trying to, Macho Man had a shit outside the ring. Like, everyone had outside the ring. So it's like, we could pick and choose all day about who we're going to rep, who we still love. But once again, you hold on to the memories. You're going to hold on to Steamboat and Savage WrestleMania 3. Which is a top 10 match ever. I don't care whatever. I don't care. You can talk about the Kid Kong Bundy, Bruno Sammartino, whoever. I don't care who you want to talk about. Steamboat and Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3 is a top 10 match of all time. And that's when the IC title meant something. But once again, that's a whole other podcast for another day. But oh my God.
Before you move on, the Owen Hart thing is a huge stain, and
it is.
I think that we don't know why he wanted to do that. We don't know why it was that night. We don't know why he picked the rigging crew that he picked, and all the hell that went into that, all the the lawsuit, everything like that, and the fact that kids are without a father, a wife is without a husband at an early age, and he was one of the greatest. Most underrated performers ever. Mm-hmm. But from a character perspective, you take all of that. In 2010, he has Bret Hart back in a WrestleMania match after the guy suffered 3 strokes, can't take a bump, and just lets him and the remainder of the Hart family beat the holy hell out of him in front of 80,000 people. So he would do whatever he had to do to sell a ticket. And I think that, yes, his downfall, like most of his generation that came up when they came up, it's very similar. But when you think about what he started from and and the heights that he took his industry to, you have to at least say the man knew what he was doing from a business point of view.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you can, and I don't know if this is the appropriate song, but I mean, it's funny. Whatever, fuck it. We can cut it later on. But Alexa, play Frank Sinatra, "My Way," like that. He did it his way, and that's just what it is. So once again, Vince, Mr. McMahon, congrats on a phenomenal career. Despite the transgressions, despite the shortcomings, you forever changed the business. For a long time, you were the business. You were the guy, not just a guy, but you were the guy when it came to sports entertainment. So, we thank you for the memories. We thank you for the moments to come as well, because obviously there's people that you hire now that are going to give us moments. So we're going to get into that shortly. So let's just get into that. So, but once again, but thank you. Go ahead.
For you to I'm just so confused, Ray. My parting thought is, thank you for everything, but fuck you for making it turn out this way.
Right.
It didn't have. It did not have to go this way. Your send off should be something that is admired. Had you just not done the stupid shit that you've done, in regard to win, just don't do that shit. Don't do that.
Right.
And let this be a lesson out there. You are not this guy. This guy was Fannie Mae. This guy was too big to fucking fail, and they outed him. So don't do that, because it will make you have to say every 10 seconds, like I have said on this 20-minute show so far, I'm not talking about him, the person. When in reality, we could be here celebrating all the accomplishments, all the memories that he gave us. We have to remind you that we're not endorsing his behavior because he was an asshole.
Right.
Sorry.
Exactly. Nope. That's once again, we'll leave it there. So now we're on to the greatest spectacle in summer, and that is SummerSlam taking place this Saturday, July 30th. In Nashville, Tennessee. I wish I could be there, because I definitely want some Nashville hot chicken. In addition to being at the actual event, because I think SummerSlam is the only big four. Oh no, I haven't been to Survivor Series, but I'll be there November 26th. We need to fucking go too. I'm tired. We need to go.
I'll be there.
Okay, yeah, we need to make it happen. It's from November 26th, but we're going. Okay, I got it on air. Let's not do text message. We're going to Survivor Series. November 26th. Okay. I'm not working that shit. I'm going to be there. Fuck that. I'm going to
shoot.
Yeah. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. So yeah. So let's say, greatest spectacle to SummerSlam taking place, in Nashville, Tennessee, this Saturday. So we're just going to go through the card to give our predictions, and, we'll be out your way. So, the first match. So, they were a tag team, at WrestleMania 38, and, The Miz does what he does best and turns on his partner, Logan Paul. So just, what are your thoughts about this match here, and what do you have winning?
Yeah. So I'm always intrigued at what The Miz is doing, because I was a fan of The Miz on the Real World Back to New York back in 2000. I thought, I just never seen on MTV a character, a person that was such a big wrestling fan at his age, right? Fast forward, he's a multi-WWE champion. And the fact that in recent memory, he is the guy that celebrities are in the ring with. So they know that he can get them over.
Right.
I think Logan Paul personally could be a scumbag. Don't know that. I have no reason to back that up. I think it could be right though. But athletically, I think he wants this, and I think he's trying, and I credit Bad Bunny for what he did at 37, because it was easy for a celebrity to walk in to a Mania and mail it in like Floyd did, although it was entertaining, like Shaq did. But Bad Bunny now has set the bar that if you're going to do a match at Mania, you better know what the hell you're doing.
Right. I
thought Logan Paul, I thought he showed a lot of promise. I think this match is going to be really entertaining, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm going to be rooting for The Miz, because I don't know how anybody can root for Logan Paul, right. But I think Logan Paul is going to win it, and he should win if he did in fact sign a contract with WWE, because Miz can lose. We always say this about Sean and Brett and all the great workers, like they could have a match with a broomstick. The Miz could lose to a broomstick, and you'd still want to see his next match. That's how good he is on the mic. So I think Logan Paul is going to win. He needs it more than The Miz does.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I do say, before I give my opinion on the match, I do believe he deserves another run. I mean, obviously with him, when he won Money in the Bank, and then he came in and beat Was it Roman? I forget what match that was, but he came in. It was just they were still doing the Thunderdome stuff then. But I mean,
he beat Big E.
Big E, that's over there. No, that's missed it.
No, didn't he?
No, because Lashley got him for the titles. So no, it was during the Thunderdome. But either way, he deserves another run because it was like a month. It was a month for the title.
Drew McIntyre.
That's what it was. There you go. Yeah. So it beats Drew, and it's like, okay, so maybe he should get another run at some point. Once again, he's been here for 15, 16 years. He's come a long way from reading the script on his arm. He's came a long way from that. Shout out to Cena too. Hey, it's all on the wrist, right? So he's come a long way from that. So I just think that he's held the company down. So yeah, you reward those guys for being loyal and obviously getting not only himself over, but the talent that he's in the ring with consistently gets over because of his talent. But into this match, I do believe that Logan Paul does one. I think that I thought it was a fish that he just had a contract. I didn't think it was a work. I think that he's actually legitimately working towards being that. And once again, those Paul brothers know how to capitalize. I say what you will about them, how they may act, how they may do business, but I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Like they handle their shit. So I love it, honestly. But yeah, Logan Paul should get the win, needs to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the win and then mid-system with the the skull crushing finale right afterwards or whatever, and spits on him or whatever, and it adds more heat as usual. So
I would love, by the way, this is never going to happen, if somehow Damian Sandow came back to cost Logan Paul, because I thought Sandow and Miz together were just money. But
that's the thing. That's another thing. It's like that 2016, 2017 Raw SmackDown. That was a really, really good time to be a wrestling fan. Like talk about multiple stories that people were invested in. Like that was one of them. Obviously, the list and that was phenomenal. So yeah, I would love to see Sandow come back and just take off his glasses like him and put it back on. Oh, that would be great. And it leads to a match between them two. Oh, that would be great. So next we have the original bro against Seth freaking Rollins. So I'll start with this one. I am a Seth Rollins guy, but I can't pick him here. I'm going with Riddle. I still want him to turn heel, like we've spoken about. I need that to happen. I actually heard a little kid's feelings talking about that, and he was like, "Why would you want Riddle to be heel?" I'm like, man, we put him in a suit, buddy. Cut his hair and talk about it's no longer the bro, whatever. And he was like, no, like Riddle's awesome, man. I'm like, oh man, yeah, you don't get the business yet, but it's okay. Sorry, kid. Like Riddle will get there, but he does love Montez Ford, so I give him a high five for that one. But so wherever you are, kid, you're on to something. But yeah, no, I got Riddle winning, but like I said, I love Seth Rollins. I think he's the best of the business, but between him and AJ Styles. But yeah, I got Riddle winning this one.
Yeah. So this is the match that I think I'm most excited for outside of the tag match, because I think the tag match is going to be hard to live up to what they did at Money in the Bank. That was
unreal.
But this match, both of these guys need a win. So, and if Vince were still booking it, he'd say, "Oh, both need a win, so do a DQ." I don't think that there's going to be a DQ here. I think you have to have Rollins go over. It's much easier for a face to chase a heel than it is for a heel to chase a face. And Rollins losing to essentially a one-armed Cody Rhodes in Hell in a Cell after losing to him at Mania, he needs a win. Riddle feels like he's on that upward trajectory. Rollins is essentially untouchable, but if you want him to square off against Roman at any point in time, then he needs to be formidable. I love both of these guys. I think this match has a chance to steal the effing show.
Mm-hmm.
But I want Riddle to win, but I think Rollins is going to win, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to be heartbroken if I hear burn it down and Whoa.
So good.
So good. I mean, and the whole crowd just goes with it. But listen, as far as Riddle goes, if we talk about the trajectory, like you're right, because listen, his merch, he's on fucking fire. Like the kids Friday night, they was those two. There was a bunch of Arcade Bro shirts. Like that's why I feel like they're not gonna get him out of this. It's like that DJ thing. Like as long as they're making them money merchandise wise, like. But I'm telling y'all, like I said, listen to Mike, listen to Craig. I'm telling y'all, if you turn Riddle heel, like he's a champion at some point. You're gonna be world champion.
He'd be the white pot smoking Rock.
Yeah. I just, to me, I mean, I don't even want to say like that. Not even like Van Dam, because Van Dam was ever a heel, but I just, to me, he would reach those levels because Van Dam was super over and never won a world title until One Night Stand. So. He was super over. Rob Van Dam was my. Oh
yeah,
and I was watching Rob every week to see what he would do between him and Jeff Hardy back in the day. So it just goes to show that the title doesn't always make you. You may make the title too, but that's a whole other conversation too. So next we have a rematch. Of 26 seconds or 28 seconds with the Manhandle Slam. We got the greatest, the toughest, the baddest, the roughest, the toughest. My baby, my crush, my wrestling crush, Miss Bianca Belair against Becky Lynch, the man. So who do you got in that one?
No, you can't call the man. Rick's gonna get mad at that. It's big time Bex.
Sorry, big time Bex. My bad. So you got big time. Okay.
This story is an old school wrestling story. They booked this the way that they used to book things back in the 80s, in the early 90s. This started last year. You thought it ended at WrestleMania. By the way, their match at WrestleMania, that was night one, was the best match. That was, I thought Cody and Seth tore it down. This was the best match on that night.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, it was technically perfect. These two can go. I think Bianca is to a point now where she's almost at a position where she can lose and it won't matter, but she's not there yet. She has to beat Becky. Becky can lose as many times as she needs to because she didn't lose for 3 years. So she's fine. She's good on the mic. She's good in the ring. Bianca is just now. I think for the broader audience, now she's being accepted as she's good on the mic. We all know that she's good in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
If you see her, you love her. If you see her, you love her. Like I remember the first Rumble that she was in, and I was watching it, with my wife, and I said, they will print money with her because she just has it. She just has it. She has the thing on the walk to the ring while she's in the ring that you can't teach, and you can teach people how to talk. She's getting better. I think she needs to beat Becky more than Becky needs to beat her. I would not be surprised if everyone's expecting Charlotte to come back and interfere with Liv and Ronda. If Charlotte, kind of peeks her head into this match, but I want Bianca to win, and and nobody is a bigger Becky fan than I am because out of the four horsewomen, well, I guess Bayley could come back.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want Bayley to come back and interrupt. Like I'm listen, and I understand that Charlotte is
fuck her. She's great, but like
I'm sick of the narrative. I'm sick of her. I'm bored. I'm over.
Yeah, she's 08 Cena.
Yes, exactly. And so I need another run. Like, I mean, maybe she comes back and has a 2017 Cena run when, that match with him and AJ Styles at Royal Rumble, to me, was one of his best matches of all time. Like, then he has the match of No Mercy against Reigns that year. Like, he had a great 2017. Then WrestleMania 33 has a great tag team match against Miz and Murray. So that's where Charlotte got to get back to that. Cause like I said, she is always seen it where it's like, no, what the fuck? Like, I see you all the time. Like, I'm good. Go chill with Andrade. We good, bro. Like, I don't need to see you. Like, I'm good. Like
you don't want to just see her and know the outcome. You know what I mean? It's like sorry to,
every time.
Yeah, sorry to talk over you, but like that's 08 Cena. 2015 Cena when he had the US the US title open challenge, when it was Rusev, when it was Sami Zayn, when it was KO Elimination Chamber, when he lost cleanly. Like that's what you want. I would love Bayley to come in, but overall Bianca needs to go over in this match. Yeah. She needs it more than Becky does.
Yeah, I'm going with Bianca Belair. Like she's become my favorite. I have made that known. Once again, I love the women's division overall. But yeah, soon as I seen her, when we talked about it last year, but who was going to win the 2021 Royal Rumble? Because I remember the showing that she had in 2020 out of Houston. I'm like, she's ready now. Like this is not a next year thing. She's ready right now to win. And I'm glad that Vince saw that. I'm glad the rest of them saw it. And she's a hunter girl. She's NXT. Like he knows, and he knows the business. He knows who could be over. Like he knows. So I'm glad that she is on this run, and I'm hoping that I think even if she loses it like in like Clash of Champions or whatever, like have her win here, so it could be like, oh, last year you snuck up on me and got me, but I showed you tonight why I'm the greatest, the toughest, the baddest, the quickest, the strongest, the fastest, whatever. Like. That once again, that's where it is. Back once again, it is the incredible. Like that's where I need it to happen. So yeah, I got Bianca winning. I'm super biased. I don't care, but I want her to win on Saturday night. So next, we have Pat McAfee versus bum ass Corbin. Yeah, it was so great to say that person like bum ass Corbin. So the fantasy scene, but I saw him when he did a little sneak attack, and you see him coming from the backstage on level 3 and underguarded, and they jump over and then attack them or whatever. That was pretty dope to see live. I was like, oh, this is how they do certain things. I'm like, this is pretty cool. So I'm actually excited for this because I like Pat McAfee gets it, yo. He gets it. This dude he understands wrestling. He understands sports entertainment. He's phenomenal on the mic already. Like he's great, and by far, like he has saved Michael Cole's career, and Michael Cole has acknowledged that. But he has saved Michael Cole's career as far as the announcing team because listen, him and Tad, I thought that was his best run, but this is now the second best run of his career now that he's with McAfee. But I love what McAfee brings, and you know what, Corbin's done what they needed him to do too. Whether it's losing Money in the Bank. He's had, the Lone Wolf run. He's had, obviously, they had him cut his hair or whatever. Like, he's been in spots where, he's got to start people over. So, he's been pretty loyal his time, here as well. But yeah, I'm actually, I do think they're going to get Corbin to get this win, but I'm excited to see how this match unfolds. But I got Corbin winning.
If Corbin wins, we riot. Like, that is how over McAfee is. Now, McAfee is somebody that whatever he wants from WWE, you should give him because he's crossover already. He's got his Pat McAfee show. Everybody knows who he is. He's a reputable source, reputable podcaster. But like you said, he gets it. He gets the business. You were there. That ovation in Dallas, he was over. Yeah. Over.
I couldn't even hear like that like to hear 70,000 people just get and I mean like yeah it was crazy. It was crazy. Like people were really excited to see him come out, but I was like, wow, like this is not a one-off. This is not a just like, oh, okay, we'll see him every now and then. He might do a house show here and there, but no, like he's really, and we started during War Games when he did that.
What I was just about to say.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we don't say it pays, baby. Right.
Yeah,
but yeah, we saw that spot off War Games. I was just like, oh, I said, okay, this is not a joke to him. Like this is. He takes it seriously. Okay, got it. Okay.
He is a guy like I'm going to use a Goldberg comparison. Goldberg is a guy that is a famous wrestler that always wanted to play football. Pat McAfee is a famous football player that always wanted to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's and like he understands it and whatever it feels like they've given him a pretty big leash on the mic, especially on commentary. But we are now in a situation where, yes, he better beat Baron Corbin. He better be the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know that if there's ever been a full-time announcer that's ever held a belt, like a real one, but he should be it.
Lawler probably did, but
not a wrestler.
Yeah.
A full-time announcer that has then held a belt.
Honestly, I don't know if they didn't put the IC belt on, but
give him the US belt.
Yeah. I think, that'd be cool. Yeah. Give him the US, United States Championship belt. That'd be great. He's not beating Lashley. We'll get to that. But if that's the case, right. But I'm just like, okay, but yeah, that would be pretty cool to see. But yeah, I'm with you. And I feel like the crowd in Tennessee is with you too. I feel like they will say, hey, if he doesn't win, it's a problem. But I feel like, they always let some type of heel win at some point. And I feel like Corbin's probably going to be the heel that ends up getting the job done.
I think the heels are going to win the next match.
Gotcha. Okay. So cool. So, SmackDown, or not even SmackDown. It is SmackDown, but SmackDown and Raw, so the unified tag team championships. The Usos, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. I have the video on my phone. Like, I lost my shit. Like, I love the Usos, but I really love the this too, man.
Right.
And you kind of alluded to it a few minutes ago, but that match at Money in the Bank
tore the house down.
One should have been that could have been a fucking main event. Let's just be real. That could have been the main event. Should have been a main event, really. And I told someone in the last 5 years that's the best tag team match I've seen. That might have been the last decade the best tag team match I've seen. Like, and funny, lo and behold, it included the Usos, because the Usos 2017. Once again, 2017 was just phenomenal. We just give it up
versus
the Usos against New Day and Hell in a Cell, whatever it was, like whatever preview that was. Like, it's just like, how do you top this? And then, listen, man, give, and I know it doesn't fit the storyline. It may not. I don't know. Maybe it's time. I don't know. But the Street Profits deserve this, dog. Like, they deserve this. They deserve this time. The Usos are at the point that they can lose. Like you said, they're at the point that they can lose, and it's not going to weaken their character. This is by far the best run of the Usos' career. Like, it's not even close. They have been phenomenal in the last 18, 19 months. So it's time. It's time. Montez Ford is a star. Like, there's no doubt about it. And shout out to X-Pac, because X-Pac said that Doctors might be on his way too. Cool. Doctor damn sure ain't Martin Jannetty. He's not. He showed me a man, Money in the Bank. He is not Martin Jannetty. And once again, for the rocker lovers out there, I'm sorry. It's not as, once again, not a prediction. It's a spoiler. It's fact. Doctors is really damn good himself. He's a more athletic D'Lo Brown. That's he's really good. You know what I'm saying? D'Lo Brown was a really good worker. Excuse me. In the 90s, 2000s. So yeah, this is to me. I don't care about another match on the card as much as this match here. I have not been on the edge of my seat like I was for that match. They took me on a ride. They took me on a journey, and I may even go back and watch that match again this week before something. It was just so awesome. But I'm going with the quote unquote upset. I'm going with the Street Profits.
All right, so I truly believe that I think I've already said this about another match on the card, that it could steal the show. The reason why I'm hesitant to say that this match could steal the show is because it already did, and now the pressure's on them. I think the Usos are the greatest tag team of our generation. Now that not the Hardys, not Edge and Christian back in the Attitude Era, but they get great matches out of everybody they step in the ring with.
Yep.
That being said, I do think that Montez Ford is a star, the next star, and he should be anointed soon. I don't want Angelo Dawkins to be left in the dark, but if it's a matter of is Montez Ford the next guy, or do you keep them together to make sure that Dawkins doesn't fall? Sorry, like get Montez Ford up. So I think the Usos, I think that the bloodline gimmick is so strong and it's still so cool. Like, I know they're heels, but you don't hate them because they just deliver every single time. They're kind of like Evolution.
Oh, for sure.
towards the end, it's like they always just deliver. I think that JEFF, could pose as a pretty good prop in this match. I think he might. I think he might play. Everyone wants him to play babyface. I think he might play heel in order to promote his July 31st match against Rick. Mm-hmm. But I think the Usos win. And I think the way to make Montez Ford a star out of this match is to have him turn heel, because if he does not turn heel, he will be a babyface sidecar to Bianca Belair, and we can't have that. So I put the Usos over. I think that you can always go back to the Street Profits if you ever need to, but the Usos and the Bloodline need this more than the Street Profits do. So I'm picking the Usos.
But they have not won the Raw SmackDown tag team, right? They've only been SmackDown tag team champions, right? The Street Profits.
No, they were Raw. They were
Raw. They were just back. Yeah,
they had that stupid stuff with the Viking Raiders with the bowling competition and dodgeball.
Yeah. Gotcha. Right. Yeah. So I was impressed with them too on Friday too. I've never seen too much of them lately, but I was impressed with them on Friday night too. The new vicious Viking Raiders, as they were announced as. But I don't know. I don't know if I share that sentiment though about the Bloodline needing it more. Once again, they're stronger than ever, and you can always run. And I get it because it ties into the whatever city they're in. Acknowledge me, we got all the gold. But once again, these dudes is on fire, and I'm talking about with Dawkins and Ford. And
Let me ask you two questions. Would it hurt the Street Profits more if they won this and then they lost in 2 months? I think it would.
Right, but that's why I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking give them a run. Give them a run. Now, it doesn't need to be a year-long run, but give them a run to WrestleMania as a tag team champions coming as the champion. That would be amazing. So go through the Rumble, go through Survivor Series, go through all that. Like I was already sold on them. Money in the Bank still the deal for me. I'm like, and you heard the crowd once again. They say, "Oh, we're here for the people." There's not a person in that building that was not on. They everyone was on their feet.
Yep.
Whether you had an ailment and not, you was on your feet cheering for whoever won. But when Montez Ford hit that splash, and you hear the collective 1, 2, and then he got what? Like the crowd was just like, and once again they took them on a ride, and it's there. It's like, to me, this reminds me of Kofi back in 2019, right? And I know that was kind of organic how it happened because it came out of nowhere. They had their Kofi moment at Money in the Bank. It's there. It's there for the taking. Give it to them. It's there. It's there. Like it's a layup.
Just remember though, like that crowd reaction was organic. It was because of a great match, but it's also because the heels are unbeatable right now, and you believe that they could be beaten, and you might lose that if the Street Profits win. That's my only point there. And my next question: where do the Rockers stack up in your top 10 of tag teams? Are they in your top 10?
Yeah, they're probably like 7 to 8.
Okay, because they never held the tag team titles.
But once again, Shawn was that good. you see what I'm saying? Like they were that good together.
Right. So like the Street Profits don't actually need this.
Yes, but to me, I feel like they could be higher than what the Rockers were. Like they could easily jump into the top 5. And I know people hold Legion of Doom, Rock Roller Express, like they hold those at 1 and 2. Fine. So if you want to put New Day there, then you also, like, to me, or the Dudleys for that matter, the Hardy Boys, like there's plenty of teams like Harlem Heat that come into mind. I just think these guys are up next, and they're way better than what Crime Time was going to be. They're better than some other tag teams that we thought were going to be just the next big thing. But these guys have it, and I'm like, yo, like even if it's just one more time, you give them the run, and then they chase the rest of their career. But I'm telling you, these boys is on fire. I have the video even for Friday night when their music dropped and them Red Solo Cups dropped. The crowd went nuts in Boston. They're on fire. They're there. They're on. Like just to me, And I felt maybe because we grew up in the era, like when a guy was white or guys were white hot or a girl was white hot, they end up putting the title on them. Yep. Like that's what you do. Like you don't say, well, we'll just get them chasing, keep chasing. Like you got something there. You have something there. Let them run with it. And then once again, you build Montez for it from there. Like you just have that. So if you want to have your Brutus Beefcake moment when he kicks him through the glass or whatever, okay, fine, great. But I'm saying let them have this moment. They've earned this moment. They deserve this moment. And then once again, if you want to make it the main event star going into 2023, by all means, do so. But I just think they deserve this one time. Like I said, I could have talked the whole hour about that match because I think, like I said, it's going to be the match of the whole event. But it is what it is. So let's do rapid fire for this guy. I know we already past the hour. So U.S. title, Lashley a theory.
Lashley better win. He deserves to win. It won't be the last that we see of Theory.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's Money in the Bank. So yeah. So and then yeah. So I got Lashley retaining too. So all right. Next. So and I met you on Friday, Miss Liv Morgan. She is so nice. She is so sweet backstage. Super short, but she's really sweet. And kind of won me over.
Is Hollywood crushing?
I am, and she won me over. Because you only live once. And I was like, I'm like, good evening, champ. But she just started to blush and smile. She was like, oh my God, thank you. So yeah, like I have Liv retaining once again. She another one. She proved she's a perfect example of what I'm just talking about. What I said with Street Profits. Day one, when she went against Becky, that was her prove it moment. She proved to the backstage and Gorilla. She proved to the fans that night, if you give her a run, she can go. She proved that at day one against Becky Lynch, Big Ties Beck, whatever you want to call her. She proved that she got it. So that's what I'm saying. When people show that they got it, put the title on them. See what they can do with it. Now, if they fold, then you take it off of them. But let them see what they can do. So I love the fact that she got the title on her right now and see what can happen. But I got her retaining. I have her retaining. I think it's going to be a hell of a match because, I mean, when Ronda's invested, Ronda's like the female Brock. When Ronda's invested, Ronda's going to give you everything she got. But I got Liv retaining in this match here.
I think Liv retains. They go for a handshake at the end, and then Ronda turns heel.
And right.
Yeah, which will only make Liv better.
Right, for sure.
I think that's the right thing to do.
Yep, absolutely. We agree there. And then the main event, for like the 17th time.
Yeah, I don't care. I truly don't care.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I was pissed off was 34 because I was there for that, and I seen like the fans were pissed. I was tired. It was late. I was like, I want to get some crawfish. I'm tired. I was in the world. I'm tired. I was about to leave at 7 a.m. I was like, I need something to eat. This is ridiculous. But yeah, Cowboy Brock, second best run of his career outside the next big thing ever. That was awesome to see against the head of the table. The man that's in God mode, the man that has the greatness on another level, Roman Reigns. What do you got, brother, and why?
Yeah, so I think that this is going to be the best match of all of their matches because it's no holds barred. They can do whatever they want to do. I think there's going to be a lot of theatrics, which I think are great. I think these are two great storytellers. At the end of the day, I do think that Brock loses as clean as you can in this type of a match to Roman. Mm-hmm. I think it's the right thing to do. I think Brock always knows what the right thing to do for business is. I'm happy that he returned to the Garden after the news of Vince retiring came out. I mean, he left. I think that says more about how he feels about the fans rather than how he feels about the business, because I think he truly does care about the performance that he puts on for the fans. Mm-hmm. I think these two, for whatever reason, like people, they scoff. There's just something there. It isn't a Rock Austin, but it is an Orton Cena. Like whenever they get into the ring, it is good. Like they just make you believe that they're going to tear each other apart. I think Reigns retains. I think Theory comes out, sees that Reigns isn't as vulnerable as he should be, and does not try to cash in and leaves. Because I think the Theory's been telling us WWE telegraphs their moves. So if they're telling you that there's going to be a cash in at SummerSlam, you should bet your house that there's not going to be a cash in at SummerSlam.
Right.
I think that,
and it shouldn't be. He's not Seth Rollins. Like, that's not.
Well, Seth Rollins wasn't Seth Rollins in a month. They waited 9 months to do that.
No, I know, but it's like, but that's even it's like from the Shield stuff, and then he comes out, and obviously we remember the call Heist of the Century. Like, I mean, listen, I'm still in shock 7 years later, and I'm like, I can't believe that he did that, but it worked, and it was perfect. I feel like they're trying to make him the next Seth in that regard, in a way, and I'm just like, But I mean, listen, you have to be open to new stars. But continue what your point.
If I'm booking into the future, I think that Reigns is going to win at SummerSlam. I think he's going to retain all the way through Mania. I think he's going to lose to the Rock at Mania, and I think Theory's going to cash it and beat the Rock at WrestleMania 39 in LA. That's how you make a star. Rock doesn't get hurt. Roman doesn't get hurt. Everyone walks out okay.
And then also the Theory cuts a promo, A-Town down, and then walks out and it drops the mic. That I'd rather that happen than him cashing in.
I mean, he should literally just do what Roman did at 34. Walk out the next night and just say, "This is my yard now." A-Town down, and then drop the mic.
That would be, or whatever city they're in.
Yeah,
they'll be in LA. So Hollywood, Los Angeles. Holy shit. Or that would be gold, actually. I'd be here for that at that point. I'm just not feeling him right now. But I'd be happy for that in 7 to 8 months.
He'll be there. He will be there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I think that, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Roman too. I think that, you actually booked this 2 years ago. I think after he came back from SummerSlam, when it was SummerSlam 2 years ago. And you're nothing without me. Going in, slamming the Fiend and doing all this stuff. Well, I thought was coming back. That promo, I was like, he's in the building. He's here. I was waiting for the candle lit to go. And it was like, hey, Las Vegas, we're here. Like, I was waiting for that moment, but it is what it is. But yeah, I got Roman retaining, and I just think, to me, I'm hoping just the best. 31 was their best match up to date, in my opinion, because it's just all the extra.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Just a moment for it. I mean, I feel like 31 was there.
Listen, their greatest Royal Rumble or their Super Showdown, whatever the hell that was, after Mania, when the cage collapsed, that was pretty good.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess obviously just for what happened, I remember 31 more, obviously, because of how it ended, and I actually remember wanting Roman to handle business. Then I was one of the few that was in his corner at that time, because I know he was becoming and Roman at 15 was always heated too. he was getting pushed like crazy, and it was just like, no, like, this is ridiculous. Hell, we even got the Rock poop in Philadelphia.
Sure did.
Damn. It's like, damn. I said, y'all even booing the Rock out here, so I'm like, y'all really don't want this man to get over. So I'm like, sheesh. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I mean, yeah, his turnaround has been awesome. But either way, it's going to be a really, really, really great show.
Good card.
Yeah, very good card. And like
there's not one match on this card that I don't want to see.
Yeah, and like I said, the matches, they got to look. The Usos and the Street Profits got to live up to what we saw at Money in the Bank. I thought that was a great way to protect both teams by having the arm lifted up. Even though I was pissed, and I tweeted it. That's how if I tweet about a match right away, that's how I'm instantly pissed. I'm pissed at because usually I'll wait. We'll talk about it afterwards. Like, in live action, I was like, no. Fuck. I was like, what are we doing? Like, I was like, get the hell, but like, we didn't want the smoke. We didn't want the smoke. Like, I was so ready to hear, and your new undisputed tag team champions, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins. I was ready. I was ready to have that moment. And like I said, I was there. Like I said, and I keep going back to this. It's one thing to watch on TV, WrestleMania 35, what happened. And I'm sure they whether they piped in or how you heard it. I was there, and I'm telling you, when that New Day music hit, when he ended with the SOS, and 1, 2, 3, and I mean 80,000 at once. I mean, people was hugging me. Like, you would have thought like you was at a Super Bowl, like, you know, it was just so much going on. It was, it like Wichita, like it was crazy. So it was just like, it was out of control. So I was like, wow, I want to see another moment like that. We can have it Saturday. Do the right thing, Hunter. They're your guys. They're NXT guys. Do the right thing, Hunter. All you had to do was shake my hand. You know, but let's get into that real quick too. Hunter's taking over. I think Hunter is going to be awesome because we got through the car. I think Hunter's going to be awesome. There's a reason why it went up 8% or 10%, whatever it was. Triple H, Paul Levesque, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, King of Kings, Mr. Petty, whatever you want to call it. Like he knows the business in and out. He knows a star when he sees him. Yes, there's guys that you miss on, obviously, but his track record speaks for itself. And if there's guys that's in AEW, there's guys that's in New Japan, there's guys that's in Impact, some of y'all need to come home because y'all haven't been the same since y'all left. With his booking, you could be back to where you was, 5-6 years ago, and come back home. Some of y'all need to come back. Talking to you, Zack Ryder.
Listen, I got nothing else to say, but Triple H is head of creative for WWE. Shawn Michaels is head of creative for NXT. That and this show, I guess, is just too sweet.
Are you a fan of classic cinema or a young person who wants to discover the best films of all time? Do these legendary movies still hold up?
On the Generation Film podcast, two guys who grew up when movies dominated the culture share a great film with a panel of young movie lovers and see how it plays for today's generation.
We discuss changes in storytelling styles, representation,
the making of each film, its initial reception, and how its meaning has changed over the years.
Join us as we explore cinema classics across generations on Generation Film.
Electricast. Electricast.
Welcome to Tuning Into Sound Wellbeing, where we harmonise your mind, body and soul. I'm Amanda, your sound therapy expert.
And I'm Stephen, the curious explorer uncovering the mysteries of sound.
Together we explore vibrations, frequencies and the power of sound therapy and tuning forks.
Discover ancient wisdom, reduce stress and tune into a healthier life. Subscribe to Tuning Into Sound Wellbeing today.
Electricast.